Hello, today on McDonald's Sessions, I'm here with Karen, and we're going to talk about her running journey, where she's come from and where she's been and maybe where she's going. Who knows what we're going to talk about. We've already had our food, so we're on this really cool colored table today. So we're going to get started and come with us and see where this journey goes. Okay, so we are here for McDonald's Sessions with Karen, and Karen and I have seen each other at races and during just like random runs even a lot of times, but I don't think that we've like ever really talked except for just a little bit.
Just say hi, but we're both tall runners.
Yeah. So we definitely have that in common, but she's like way faster than me, and like when I saw you Saturday, I was dying already, and you were like just doing your warm-up run, I think. So that was awesome. So we're going to go through a little bit of Karen's history. So first, how did you start running, or did you run any in high school, or what did you do in high school? Did you do any sports?
I was a softball player, believe it or not, which I don't like fit that physique at all.
What position
but
did you
I was
play?
A first baseman.
Okay.
And I also pitched a little bit, and then I could do whatever, but I had a pretty good arm at that time.
Okay. Big strike zone.
Yeah. Just scrunch up like that. I loved softball. Like, I was passionate about it, and then I kind of got on a team where everybody wasn't really connected with each other, and it just ruined it for me. But after that, when I got to be an adult and got married, my husband and I worked at Tippin's, a pie restaurant.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. They still sell pies, like at Hen House.
Remember that? Did you work at the restaurant itself?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, that was good.
As a waitress.
Yeah.
So, and then my husband would sell, was a Pizza Hut delivery guy.
Yeah.
And so guess what we were eating?
Pizza and pie?
Yeah, right. So let's just say,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we can't keep going this direction, right? So I started doing getting up early and doing like aerobic videos with friends, and started trying running and different things like that. But
did you have a day or a specific time that said, this running thing is pretty fun, I really want to like go for it, or what kind of got you into it?
Right. Well, the first time I remember one of the first times I ran, I got horrible shin splints, and I probably ran 1 mile. So I was like, this isn't working. And I'm going to tell you, I'll just be honest, guys, that was like the late 80s. So that dates me a little bit. I've been running for over 30 years, and boy, has that changed. We didn't have Garmin's, I would drive around the block, and I would make maps of like how far this is for myself, and I had no idea what my heart rate was or how to train. There was no YouTube, there was no internet. I mean, I really sound like a dinosaur, don't I?
No, I only started in 2018, so I had all those things. I had, people would know where I was. They knew how far I went.
Yeah.
I guess I did exercise in the 80s, but it's really different to think of going out on like a 10-mile run and just not having. Did you have a Walkman, or what did you have?
I did have a Walkman, and I would listen to the radio because it got the radio. And Ace of Base, the Sign was like my big running song. Yeah. But I think it really kicked in when just the stresses of life just got big. Yeah. And I realized running gave me tons of joy. It made me so happy, and I still feel that way. In fact, I'm really weird because I'm one of the only people I know, even of my runner friends, who there is never a morning I wake up that I don't want to go run. Like, I'm never like, oh, this sucks, I don't want to go, but no, I want to go. So I just have to actually hold myself back. Yeah. And I'm telling my husband, do not let me do ultra running because I could see myself going down.
Come to the dark side.
No. I'm not sure my body can hold up to that, but.
So you talked about music. I didn't say I was going to talk about this, but do you have like I feel like every race I kind of have a song during that season or something. Do you
Yes.
have that where like there's a song and this is the song for this half marathon, or this is the song for this training session? Do you have that?
You know, this is interesting. Music, I will go to Jog FM and I get music that beats the that reflects the cadence I want. So I have a 180 to 185 beat per minute one for 5Ks. I have different ones for different distances.
Yep.
But actually, this is the craziest thing. I have never liked country music in my life, but I really started loving to run to it.
Okay.
And so like this last...
Are you trying to get the run over with so you don't have to hear it anymore? Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
love it. I love running to it. It's so fun and upbeat, and especially when you're on a trail run like we were on Saturday. It just has that fun, playful feel. So
Yeah, I mean, I really like country music. I listened to it for a long time. I listened to like really old stuff with my dad, but I mean, I just went to a couple country concerts, going to a country concert in like 2 weeks. One of my favorite artists, I guess I'll talk a little bit, is Logan Mize, which you probably never heard of, but he's from Kansas.
I don't know that much about it.
Anyway, he sings about like open space, and it's a lot like running on trails. Like one of my songs is called Sunflowers, and it just talks about I was born to run. It's actually on the Kansas City Marathon, the list. Of course, you know I submitted it, so but it's a kind of a cool song about running. It's not really about running, but there's a lot of country songs like that are kind of running away from your problems. But
yes, one of my favorite ones is, her name's Kelly Pickler, I think.
Yep.
It's called Little Bit Gypsy, and it's fun, and it is about running. It is about just going and kind of being free. And
I think last year on that playlist I had Every Mile of Memory by Dierks Bentley, and it kind of talks about like everywhere I go I see you, and it's kind of saying more as like a person, but I see that too with like people I've run with, like especially like Indian Creek Trail. There's times I've run with friends, and I can think of things that happened there, like we almost died here, and I had to just get to that water fountain over there, and then I'm running to it by myself. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then there's like a line in it too that says, every bend around I come, I see how far I haven't come, or something like that. Like I like that too, because it's like saying,
there's more.
Yeah. So,
well, Clint and I, one of our experiences is that I run sometimes on Indian Creek Trail with some friends in the morning when it's like pitch black, and so I can always tell Clint is coming because his headlamp is way up here. And we've been dodging homeless people under the bridge lately. So
last time I was there was a guy laying there and he had his dog on top of him, and that like really made me sad. But I mean, I don't know if it's getting colder. I don't know if there's going to be less. There was a time where there was like 2 or 3 through that area all the time. There was like a couple under the tunnel and one on the bench. But last week I don't think anyone was there. So I don't know. Yeah, we have seen each other there. Seen at Heritage a few times. Like I'm always by myself pretty much. And she always has a lot of friends, so
I run with people a lot.
Way more popular. That's what she's trying to say.
So I'll put a little pitch. So I'm one of the co-leaders for Casey Metro. She runs this town, which is a women's running group. Do you know about that? Well, you know Sydney's Duck Donut Run. Did she talk about that at all? No. Oh, Sydney, shame on you. Sydney, that's one of kind of hooked up with our women's group, and so it's.
She knows I'm not a woman though.
I know, but women are going to be watching this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't run with us. No, you can't. It's actually a national organization, but we have 350 women on our Facebook page in our group that are women runners, and
that's awesome. Are you guys fast or slow? My wife has always she ran before. She's run a half marathon a few times. And she's always wanted to run, but she feels like she can't run with me because I run too far. Yeah. And she runs too slow to like run with anyone. Do you guys have people that run slow?
This is actually a big discussion we're having right now. Okay. I'm part of co-leadership, so there's 2 other gals that are part of the group, and the pace issue is our biggest obstacle. We have a lot of women that do run at an easier pace, but I feel like they feel bad, like it isn't as good, and that's not true at all, and we can't get that across, and so we're trying to get leadership for that, for easier paced women, and try to get them to connect with each other. But,
I mean that's what I want too. I mean, because I mean it's not to say that nothing could happen to me while I'm out there. Maybe someday you guys will watch this video and you'll found I was found on the side of the trail or something, but
Yeah.
I feel pretty safe. I mean,
Yeah.
most people aren't going to mess with me. If someone's
No.
going to mess with me, they're going to mess with anyone because, I mean, I come through the trail and I'm like, that's why I wear the light half the time, is just so I don't scare people. But so she's like more nervous, like even to run.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If
We
I'm running
women,
six
it's a
miles
big issue.
and she runs 4, like if we kind of intersect, even she's a little nervous about that. So,
Oh, well, she should definitely hook up with us.
okay, what's it called again?
It's called Casey Metro. She runs this town.
And it's on Facebook?
It's on Facebook.
I'll try to put the link here if I can remember.
Yes, and you know, I've gotten to know the Wichita chapter leader, and for the first time I met her in real life in, is it Richmond? Where did we turn around? I met her on the course.
That's awesome.
On Saturday. She's like, Karen, you're real. So it's fun. It's fun like when you show up at races and you see people that you don't expect to see.
Let me tell you, a lot of people like say hi to me, and again, people probably watch this video that I don't know at all, and they say hi to me, and I think it's awesome, but it's always like really nerve-wracking because I can't remember names very well, and I always feel like that they're, you know, like they always see me when I'm really struggling, so they are probably judging me, saying like, why does this guy have a YouTube channel when he can't even like get through 10 miles easily? So.
No, because we all struggle, you know.
Yeah,
we all go through the struggle, and for some people, running a mile is a struggle. I mean, it's just all of us are in a different place.
It's true.
I say running isn't for everyone. You know, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I actually do a lot with walking, and I have been part of race walking group, and those of you who follow me on Garmin actually see that I do a lot of my recovery with walking.
I think I've heard you're a really fast walker.
Yes, I walk at about a 12-minute pace. So
sometimes I run at a 12-minute pace.
But you know, that's all training too. You know, I had to work up to that, but it's so good. Walking intervals, all that is so good, and I just wish the pace issue wasn't even a conversation we were having. You know, because I wish everybody would feel like whatever they can do is a good thing for them.
Okay, back here with Karen, and we talked a little bit about like when you actually found running was your kind of thing. What race was your kind of epiphany that you said, this is really awesome?
Well, I trained for Hospital Hill in 1994, and I
think I have a picture. I'll put that up right now.
I did not finish.
Hey, that makes me feel better.
I got strep throat the week before. I took some kind of decongestant. My heart was racing. I was dehydrated, and I just didn't make it. So that was really discouraging. And I didn't race again until 2001. And I did Hospital Hill again. And actually, that story is in a Chicken Soup for the Soul book.
Oh, awesome.
I ran it for my daughter, who was really going through a lot, to show her that I don't give up. And even after, you know, how many years is that? 7 years that I was going to finish that race, and I dedicated it to her.
That's awesome.
And when I finished, it wasn't raining the whole time. It was pouring buckets so much that it's the only Hospital Hill race they don't have any records of because everything's shorted out. So it's like I didn't even do it, but I do. Oh, I forgot to bring my pin. So now we get these medals, you know, that are this big. They gave me a little lapel pin. I'm not kidding you. It was about like a centimeter.
That would have been depressing.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it. No, but I mean, that's what it was. You didn't get t-shirts or none of that stuff.
So do you run Hospital Hill now every year just because of that?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't, because I think it's very difficult. And hills, I hate.
I don't think I'm going to do it this year just because I think I'm going to be gone. But
yeah, I'm doing the 10K this year because it's the 50th anniversary. So no, I haven't done it actually since then.
Did you do the KC Marathon this year?
No, because hills.
So I know you're really fast, but you're scared of hills?
Well, I mean, I can do them for short distances, but they seem to derail me on longer distances.
Have you trained at like Og Road or like the Lowe's Hill? Or,
well,
I guess I don't know where you live, but
I have done Og. I feel like it's too hard on my body, and I ran around here. I don't know if you know the hills on Plum. I did a really great run on hills last fall and last spring, and my knees or hip. I can't remember. Some part of my body did not work for about 3 weeks after that. So I'm just trying to make running sustainable
So
for
you
myself.
like flat, like Ottawa on Saturday was
Yes.
perfect for you?
Yeah.
So have you ever run like any kind of race on a track or anything? Like,
No, but I think there are some gals that do, and maybe I might try that someday. But
Did you do-
And I do love 5Ks. I'll do hilly 5Ks, but you get it over with. It's
how about Ultrapalooza? Did you do any of those races down Osawatomie?
no.
I mean, they have like a 10 mile or a 20 mile. You could.
I need to. Actually, I just met a gal through my running group who's gotten me on trail running.
Well, this isn't a trail. This is it's just like Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
Super flat.
Okay.
It's the same.
You can
thing.
cut all this part out.
Oh, it's fine. So trail running. So what trail are you interested in running?
She's been taking me to Cedar Niles
Yep.
and
I was
took me
there
to Shawnee Mission Park.
Like when the first day it opened.
Oh, I love it. And see, I'm a Colorado girl. I mean, we went there every summer and hiked, and like it just,
Yeah.
just like I get closer and my heart just feels so happy. So I'm kind of excited. Like my dream is that my husband and I get our camper and we just go from national park to national park, and I just do a bunch of really cool destination races. So that would be so cool, but it's going to be in the future.
I'm really trying to get my wife to move to Colorado after our kids graduate from school, but
Ooh.
she wants to go to Florida or something. So
Oh, no.
I feel like she's going the wrong direction. But there's
Listen, that you don't want to go to Florida.
There you
want to
go.
go to Colorado.
our friends are in Florida that we really like. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of good trails. I mean, you should try like Bull Creek. There's some that are just easier than others. Because have you fallen down yet?
I've tripped on a lot routes.
That
but
doesn't
I
count.
haven't
You have to actually go down.
I haven't gone down.
Yeah.
No.
Because you'll definitely, there's some that are like really like, they've like Psycho Waiko at Wyandotte County. You could definitely fall. It gets muddy where it's hard to just even keep going forward. But Cedar Niles is good because it's, have you run the paved part there too?
Oh yeah, and hilly.
Yeah, it's really hilly.
Okay, so I actually have been doing strength training and do hill stuff, and I'm getting better with the hills. I am getting better.
Okay.
Another thing about Hospital Hill is it's so hot.
Yeah.
For me, that's just too hot.
Yeah.
Like I did going the distance, 10K, and it was the hardest race I've ever done in my life.
I've had problems in that race too.
It was because it was getting hot. I wasn't used to it, and it was hilly. I just really struggled.
Maybe it's because you're tall like me, and then you like. I mean, I really suffer in the heat. Like the when it's humid, it's just hard for me to cool down. I don't know how if you sweat a lot, but I sweat a lot, and it's hard for me to do summer. Like this is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for trails too, because all this stuff is dead. All the animals, not animals, but snakes and insects. That's what I don't like. I don't want the ticks.
He runs with his pellet gun. And
Yeah. It's like a video game. I just see like a raccoon and I just start shooting.
That's why I have to run with friends.
So Hospital Hill was one of your biggest ones.
But I mean, it's super special to me.
Is that probably one you would say the most
I was
special
gonna
to you?
run it, but then the pandemic, that one's, there are so many that are super special. I mean, I've probably done 80 races now, so all of them have a different personality.
Yeah.
5Ks are really my wheelhouse, and I've made myself break out of it and do a bunch of 10Ks this year. I did 10Ks, and that was really, really fun. One that I never thought I would really like was the midnight run.
Oh, I love that race.
That was so interesting.
It's hot too, but it's the same.
Yeah, but it's just kind of magical running in the dark, racing in the dark.
So there's a lot of night races on trails too. Like I'm sure you heard of Mile of Madness down at Paola. There's like it's just a big loop. They're doing a night race. Nighthawk, that's a trail race. That's scary because you really have to be careful not falling. But night races are fun. And running at night is, I think, really fun, which now it's like night at 7 a.m., so that's kind of weird.
Oh, Christmas time. I just love to run at night and run around at the look at the lights. And
for sure, I don't know how far we are from Spring Hill, but our neighborhood is like so bright you don't need a light in Christmas. So I'm like going to have a run
fun.
in December, so I'll invite you to that too. But it's
awesome.
We had about 20 people last year, but I usually like
remember that.
Ask Katie and Sydney like when are you guys available? And then the three of us do it, and then just try to invite everyone else that can
Whoever
come.
else can come.
Yeah, but it's really neat because it's really bright.
Yeah, we do the Sarco Park run every Christmas Eve morning.
Yep.
Our girls do, and I did the Penguin Run last year at Polly's Penguin Playground in Olathe. We're going to do Candy Cane Lane this year, and it's so fun. That's another thing. It's like races are just one piece of this for me, and I love racing, and I love Kansas City Running Company and the connections I made there. But I love training, and I really enjoy making courses and inviting people and having events, and so it's kind of like some of my favorite runs weren't necessarily races, they were just the training runs. So
do you think the runs, like I feel like some of the runs, at least the runs I remember, are things that happen usually badly, like it rained really bad, or it was really cold, or it was icy, or sometimes it's the people you're with. Like, do you have any experiences like that where you, I don't know, maybe got out a couple miles and the lightning came?
Yeah, well, that's happened, but when I was more of a solo runner, and I really have been a solo runner up until I turned 50. When I turned 50, I decided I would do 10 5Ks. I thought that was a big deal. Now I'm really brainwashed. But I started meeting people, or I started seeing people connecting, and I was like, I want to be a part of this community. And so I used to do, because of my experience with Hospital Hill, I did a lot of virtual half marathons because I was always afraid I would do all this training and then the day would come and something would go wrong. I just kind of had that anxiety. Now when I race like 20 times a year, I don't care anymore. If something goes wrong, it doesn't matter. But once I did a virtual half marathon, and I had to get it done by the end of the month, so I went out, and it was probably like 45 degrees and misting rain. And I got home, and my daughters were like, what is wrong with you? I was white, and I couldn't stop shivering for like 2 hours. That was the year the Boston Marathon was so rainy, and everybody was getting hypothermia, and I didn't realize that I had gotten hypothermia from doing that. But I did okay. Yeah. I did it.
Yeah. That's half of it when you're done is to say I did it. Even you're saying you don't really have times where you don't want to, but there's times where it's usually distance where I have to like run 18 miles or something. I'm like, I really don't want to do this, but when I'm done, I'm a lot happier.
Well, I always pull together my friends for those kinds of things, and that's been a lot of fun. So
yeah, it is good to. There's been a lot of runs where I've run part of it with someone, met them, and then they went back, or I kept going. So that's always been good too.
Yeah.
So is half marathon your furthest? Have you run a marathon?
I've done 2 virtual marathons. One was during the pandemic, and because everybody's races were being canceled, our run group put together a course, and it was a 2.5 mile loop, and you could do it as much as you wanted. And I did a marathon that day, and it ended up being 90 degrees by the time we were finishing. So that was a huge accomplishment, and it was a great day. And then Patriots Run, Sydney was gunning for some big miles that day, but I was leading our relay team, and I just kept running with them, and I ended up doing the distance, although I took a lot of time to do it.
That still counts.
Yeah, but I'm doing Loggerhead in 3 weeks, and this is the most training I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I'm ready.
Good. That's awesome.
I'm ready to do this.
I ran that same day at Patriots. I ran the Hawk Marathon. That was so hot. That was miserable. That's probably my worst. Even like Saturday wasn't as bad as that. Then I really did not know if I was going to get off the track. I was scared.
It was rough.
Yeah.
And I think because I was just focused on so many other people and not really worrying about what was going on with me, it made a big difference.
That probably helped too, though, in a way too. But then afterwards, you might have felt a little worse. So,
yeah. Well, there's a whole. I'm reading this book for the 3rd time. It's called "Let Your Mind Run" by Dina Castor, and it's about how thinking affects your running. And I'd say a great but not so great moment was that somebody got this idea in my head to do a sub-2 half marathon, and I was like,
Did you do that last year at Loggerhead?
yes.
I thought so.
Finally, I have done between a 2 and a 2:05 like 12 times, but I was training for the Chocolate Rush one, which they don't really do it anymore.
Yeah. What happened to that race?
I don't know. The
That's
pandemic, I guess. But the pandemic just got rid of everything.
Yeah.
But I was so stressed about it because I had this goal, and that I ran it in 2 hours and 38 seconds.
Oh.
And if I had not stressed myself out, I know I would have done it. And now I just say my best is good enough. That's what I say every time. And whatever my body can do is what it's going to do. And so there's always next time too.
Well, that was definitely one of the things I was going to ask you is what's your mantra or what are your running philosophy? So that's what do you, like when you're running, are you actually looking at the clock or are you just running your race or how do you do that?
A lot less than I used to, but I use the cadence, the music with the cadence, so I kind of let that guide me. And
Probably Luke Bryan.
How I'm feeling. Like Loggerhead, my half that I did last time, it was 176 beats per minute, so that's what got me there. I let that kind of guide me, and if I feel like I'm really struggling, I'll look down at my heart rate or I'll look down at my pace and just kind of see where I am. But I try not to think about it too much. That's made me do a lot better. Just do the best I can.
Okay.
But I've also learned not to start out so fast. That's helped a lot. And just try to have fun. On our last race, I was just running and singing to myself and just having a great time. So
yeah,
that really, I think the music really helps. But with Loggerhead, when that was like a unicorn race. It was like I felt like I could just keep going and going and going, and I didn't feel like I was struggling. And I just said, I just kept saying to this, can you hold this pace? Yes, I can hold this pace. Then hold this pace. Like it was more about finding that groove than trying to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And it worked for me. And so that's kind of my mantra now. Can you hold this pace? Yeah, I can hold this pace.
Good.
Yeah.
So when you after you run the Loggerhead, or probably when you run the Loggerhead, I guarantee you, Sydney's going to say this, and I'm going to say it right now, is you're going to go to the 50K next. You might be doing one of the races there. I mean, it's only...
No, they just have a half and a full there, but the Rails to Trails extravaganza.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same trail.
I know,
or you
I
could
love it.
do the Mile Zero, then it would be the same idea, just a different trail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in April.
Yeah.
I think it's the 15th or something.
Well, one thing I do with my training cycle is my spring, I focus on 5Ks and 10Ks. I try not to burn out on the miles so much, and then I go back and...
You don't have to do the same thing.
Well, okay.
I mean, you could be sitting here in a few months saying you're an ultramarathon runner.
Mm-hmm. Maybe in the future. Well, one interesting fact is that I am retiring at the end of this year.
Okay.
And so I will have a lot more time to do the miles.
See?
And that's going to be in the fall.
You can't pretend that you're not even already thinking about it. And it's not, I guarantee I'm not going to be the last person to put it in your head. So
I know, you guys.
It's fun because...
I never would have dreamed that, but we'll see.
You're right there. I mean, and you'll find it so different too. I mean, Loggerhead's a little bit different too because it's kind of the same thing. But if you're in the KC Marathon versus running the Rails to Trails, 50K, it's so different because when you stop and eat and I mean, you can just take your time. It's just
it's much more relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel with the longer distances. Like the 5Ks, I say if I don't feel like I'm going to throw up at the finish line, I didn't do it right. That is my favorite race, but I'm kind of having a lot of favorite races now. So and I failed to mention though, when I biked a lot too, and I still do bicycle, but we used to ride on the Katy Trail a lot in the early 90s and really throughout the last few decades. And I've always said, I want my ashes spread on the Katy Trail. That's like where my heart is. And so these, the Prairie Spirit Trail and Katy and some of the other ones. I can't even think of the other ones.
Flint Hills.
Yeah.
Have you run the one up by that starts at Arrowhead at the Tribute Sports Complex?
Well, that's part of the Prairie Spirit.
No, that's Katy. No, not the Katy. I can't think what that's called.
Yes, we did, and we saw a giant turtle. My daughter and husband and I biked there, and we saw this giant. Oh yeah, this giant turtle. She was done. She was very excited about the turtle. That was about it.
You should run up there. It's fun. And I mean, I found that I run in the same places a lot, like Indian Creek, like almost every Tuesday. But I like to move it around too. Like I like to kind of be consistent, and then on the weekends especially, or there's just sometimes like I'll call Sydney. I'll be like, let's go up by where you live and run there. And it's sometimes really good. I mean, there's times where I'll be running and I know I got like 6 miles left, and I can picture Indian Creek where I run from Mid-America to, I know exactly where I would be on that whole 6 miles. So, or I'll think it's 2 times around the track when I have like half a mile left. So I just have a lot of visualization that I have to do. I mean, what kind of things, I've talked about this a million times too, but what kind of things get you through your runs? Do you think about your food afterwards? Do you think about, I don't know.
For me, really, like, I just have to say again, my running friends, if I'm talking, and some of the guys are like, how can you talk for 2.5 hours? What in the world do you talk about? But it usually is about running.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we do that. I mean, I was actually a little nervous about what are we going to talk about in this conversation, but I can see we can run your battery out if we want to.
I have another battery just in case.
But, that helps so much, is having them there. And I just kind of try to run the mile I'm in. I try to just kind of look around. But no, I don't really think about anything beyond when I finish. I'm just kind of in the mile I'm in.
I definitely am not like, I mean, I'm thinking about like if I have a drink with me, I'm thinking I'm going to drink this at mile 4. I'm thinking about, I'm going to go get my McDonald's afterwards. And sometimes there'll be like some girl wearing like way too short of shorts. I'm like, I'm going to see if I can catch her and follow her for a while. I mean, it's whatever I could do. I mean, whatever. I mean, sometimes, I've literally like ran with squirrels for a little bit. I'm like, no, maybe I could run to my next squirrel.
It's a new race idea, running with the squirrels.
I've got, whatever it takes when I'm out there to get me to the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of different things. Like, even Saturday when I knew I was going to go to the aid station, like I knew that Wendy was going to be there with some Pringles or whatever. I was going to see her, like when I did the Flint Hills 50 like a few weeks ago, I saw no one for 24 miles, and it was so hard.
That is hard.
Yeah, it was mentally hard, and it was just, but so then I was just thinking, hey, if I get to the top of this hill, then I can keep going, and it just, hill after hill I had to do it, but it was just hard.
I do that. Like if I'm in the struggle of a race, because when training runs, I usually don't push that hard. I mean, I do have tempo runs and stuff like that, but
what if it's like,
I'm just like trying
July
to survive.
And it's 110?
I am trying to get the elusive Toasty badge from Garmin. And
I've never got that either. There's a badge today. Have you ran today?
I've gotten 2. I got the 3-mile Halloween, and I got the Halloween walk, and I got the Halloween.
I'm not doing the walk, but I'm going to do the activity.
But
it's Halloween, by the way. So I just
happy Halloween.
This could come out like around Thanksgiving, honestly, because I have like a lot of weeks of prep and stuff. But it's Halloween. The guy just walked by with the skull shirt on, but so.
When I'm racing, I have a lot of little tricks, and a lot of them is run to that next pole, run to that next corner, run, where you're just doing that. There's another one they said, like, reel people in, just feel like you're.
Do you ever like see like Jason Silvers and be like, what the hell is he wearing? I gotta catch up and see what he's got.
I do like passing people.
Yeah?
Yeah. I try, but it doesn't happen all the time. A lot of people pass me too, but it's fun. I really am good at the downhills, and my friends will tell you that I make up for that uphill on the downhill, and so I often will. Sometimes I'll power walk up the uphills in a race, and then just pass the people. They're like all winded from the uphill, and but I also sometimes I'll change this is a weird kind of thing. Like I'll change my dominant leg. Like I'll think like, okay, right leg you lead. Now left leg you lead. And I don't know, there's just something to it. Like I'm focusing just on that one leg that is just carrying carrying the weight of the race. So
that's interesting. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm doing this video is because I don't know everyone that well. And then it's also interesting to hear like other people's tricks and stuff that they do, because I mean, definitely talking to runners, everyone's so different. Everyone has such different motivation, different everything. And you know, it's cool to hear your backstory too, like how you got into it. This table lights up, by the way, too. So if you see like my hand moving, it's because this
it's really fun.
Yeah, you can't see it on the
McDonald's
camera.
on 87th Street.
Yeah.
Find the cool light up table.
Yep, it's awesome. Okay, I know you got to get back to work. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Hey, I forgot to mention a super important part of my running journey, and that is how my mom and I have gotten to experience racing together. We've done the Mother's Day 5K together about 6 or 7 times, and it's always a super special moment for us. I'll run it and then go back and finish it with her. I'm so proud of her at age 84, still going to the starting line and doing these 5Ks and age grouping, often being the oldest participant. She is so inspiring, and she's such an encourager, as is my dad. They are my biggest cheering section. I think mostly I just want to say thank you to the running community. I go through some hard stuff in my life, and I am just so appreciative of the relationships I've built, and even just people who smile at me at the start and finish line or say good job. It means the world to me, and I honestly believe that the act of running and then the people of running are what have kept me afloat. And so, thank you.
I would agree with that too, because I mean, really think about in your life how many times people say like, good job, or you're doing great. I mean, it doesn't really happen except in running. I mean, I probably said it 200 times on Saturday, and maybe I wasn't like always like, you know, good job, or I was just like, good job. But I mean, it's still cool to hear all the time, and it like does pump you up, and then someone will change it up and be like, you look great, or whatever they'll say, and it really does help you. And the thing I like about running more than anything is it just gets you away. Like you can't run and sit there and be like on your phone, or people can't be bothering. I mean, they can call you, but I just usually decline. But they can't be bothering you the whole time. The whole whatever's going on in the world usually is like just out there. You just have you and your however far you got to run and back. It's a moving meditation. Yeah, and it helps, and it helps like in so many different ways. And it is, I mean, there's so many different people that I've met just from running. It's really cool. So it was good to get to know you better today. Yeah, sorry. No, it was fun. Okay, well, that's all from McDonald's. We've almost been here so long, I'm gonna have to order some more food. But and the light just changed and like lit us up like really crazy. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.